You seem to be a vintage car guy, but yet you got that silver M Coupe, the Clownshoe. Why the Clownshoe?
Well, just look at it. It's got that beautiful, fat, planted rear end. It looks like nothing else on the road.
Top of the morning to you. Here I am in Beantown fighting around. It's wicked, it's springtime. Boston, it's a college town. They got Harvard, we're going past MIT. Thinking about Boston bands, you know, it's a musical town. Aerosmith, Boston, the cars. Here I am in one of my favorite BMWs actually, the 3.0 CSI. I always wanted one of these as a kid. This one is a 1973. It's actually a joy to drive. Shift through the gears. It's silky smooth. One of those cars where you just want to shift up and down the gearbox, get back to gas, get back on it. But this car obviously is not the next big thing. It's already been the next big thing for a long time. What I'm really here to see is this silver M Coupe. This is a rear-wheel drive shooting brake built on the original Z3 platform. They call it the Clownshoe, and something you'd have to be a clown to buy one. The guy who owns this funny looking car is Rob Siegel, and to my knowledge, he never ran away to join the circus. You probably know him as a hack mechanic from his Hagerty column and many car-related books. Hey man, so this is it, the world famous hack mechanic garage?
This is where I and the cars all live, yeah.
Well, you got me right here because I owned a 73 Lotus Europa twin cam in what appears to be the exact same color.
No.
Tell me what you love about it, and I want to find a photo of mine.
Well, it's completely un-BMW-like. It's totally antithetical to anything else that I've ever owned.
That was mine, my 73 that I bought in the 90s from a guy in Walnut Creek who said he would drive it down to LA to visit a family relative. And I said to him, if the Lotus makes it, I will buy it. Because normally I just dive in at the deep end when it comes to cars. I'm all about the chase. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Absolutely.
So with the Lotus, the fact that it made it from Walnut Creek almost 400 miles to LA, that was the only test I needed with that car. And that was my love affair with Lotus. So you obviously got the cool old Lotus. You got a lot of cool old patina 2002s. You seem to be a vintage car guy, but yet you got that silver M Coupe, the Clownshoe. Why the Clownshoe?
I had a 911. I had one and only one 911.
This might be the smartest thing I've heard you say all morning. Except the hat bit.
Well, exactly. I did what you're supposed to do. I bought an 82 911 SC. I owned it for 10 years. I bought it for 10 grand. I sold it for 10 grand in about 2011 because I lost some garage space. But one of the other cars that I had at the time was the M Coupe, which I had bought about 5 years earlier. Why buy it? Well, just look at it. It's got that beautiful, fat, planted rear end. It looks like nothing else on the road. But I had to make some choices about which car to sell. I had a lot of 70s era BMWs. I had 80s era BMWs. To me, the 911 SC felt more like a 70s era, 80s era car, whereas the M Coupe, it's a 99 M Coupe, felt like nothing else that I owned. If I sold the SC, I felt like I still had other cars from a similar era, whereas if I sold the M Coupe, I had nothing else like it.
Got it. I think that's the time for me now to go see what the M Coupe is all about. So, where's a good place to drive around here?
Well, when I want to drive, I take route 2 to 202 to the Shutesbury Shute, which is sort of the Western Massachusetts version of the Tail of the Dragon. If the dragon was very small.
Okay, so it's a small tail of the dragon.
Yeah, small dragon.
So we should probably head out to the Shute.
Let's do it.
Tell me about the car. I'm kind of confused with everything that's BMW related of, E this, E that. From what I know, this is the M Coupe, which is built on the Z3 Roadster platform.
That's correct.
So what is an M Coupe?
An M Coupe is a Z3 with a hatchback and a motor from an M3.
So what is the motor?
Well, there are two different versions. So M Coupes were only made 4 years, 99, 2000, 2001, and 2002. This is a 99. In 1999 and in 2000, the M Coupe had the so-called S52 motor from the E36 M3.
Now, for those of you who watched season 1 of The Next Big Thing, you'll remember my confusion over the E39 M5. I still don't understand these internal BMW codes, and the M Coupe is no different, of course. For those who don't know, the S52 is the BMW internal code for the American inline-six motor found in the E36 M3 and the original M Coupe. It puts out 240 horsepower and 236 foot-pound of torque. This is the motor in Rob's Clownshoe. The later and possibly more desirable M Coupe came with the S54 from the E46 M3, which produced a beefier 315 horsepower. The good news is, whichever motor you have, both were paired with a manual 5-speed. What did BMW think about, the Clownshoe term that being associated with the car?
Well, the jury was kind of split in terms of the look of the car. When these came out, these are weird looking cars. It was said, actually not unlike the Lotus Europa, that it looks like it's a different car from the front and from the back. Over time, much of that has dissipated, and much of the jury has weighed in on its uniqueness. They look like nothing else on the road.
We are on this really pretty awesome, undulating, sweeping West Massachusetts woodland road called the Shute. I really enjoyed the drive earlier on in the 3.0. This is obviously a whole different generation. There's more power. From a style point of view, both cars to me are extremely unique. They both stand out. This one's, I call it, modernly classic. I suppose by today's standards, it's not staggering performance, but 0 to 60 in a little over 5 seconds is really adequate. You've got to keep your foot planted, but it does like to rev. We're pulling up to 6,000 right there, shifting up to 4th. It's usable power, which is what's nice, and it's not overpowering. I would see this as, a car that you could comfortably rack up the miles, in comfort and speed, and actually have fun. Final thoughts, the 99 M Coupe. I'm calling it a modern day classic. It's not the fastest car on the road. It rolls around a little bit, but it's a rewarding car, it's an engaging car, and it's a car that inspires you to push a little bit harder, grab another gear, and put that pedal to the metal. We had some fun times on these rolling, undulating, wooded roads. So my final note on the car is, I would say it's the next big thing.